So I'm coming off of a interesting conversation on Facebook. And with that, it started to make me think about how this all started. Okay? It's 2016, right? And we're hearing a whole bunch of shit about Trump. That things we never heard about before. Okay? I'm still green, so I don't know. Alright? All I have is what's said on the news and what the celebrities are telling me. I'm taking it in just as everybody is right now. I'm not taking it in and making it, change my mind. I haven't made up my mind yet. So this information is coming in, and I'm hearing this about Trump, that about Trump, and I'm like, okay, so we got another man. Okay, we got another Bush coming in, because at first I didn't give a fuck who he was. I already knew who he was. I knew he, as far as I knew about Trump. Listen, half the rappers were talking about him. Barack Obama, and this is what was triggered in my mind when he popped up, when he hit the spotlight towards the election. I was thinking about all the rappers that loved him, right? I think about all his cameos in the movies and the TV shows, Fresh Prince and all that stuff, all his interviews with Oprah and everything. Everybody loved the guy, and he always seemed like somebody that loved the country, right? That's where I started, but still, I didn't care. All right. So when he ran, I was like, wow, we're going to get another celebrity president, huh? If he wins, we're doing that again like Reagan. Okay. I mean, he's not an actor, but okay. I guess that's what's going to happen. I'm not voting for him, but whatever. If he wins, that's me, right? That's where my mind is. So when this stuff started to come out about him, I'm like, okay, I don't know much about him other than what I've seen. So let me look it up, right? I didn't automatically turn into, like, once the news told me, word, he's a racist, I ain't voting for him. Fuck that guy. No, I'm not like that about anything. Once I get the evidence, then I'm like, okay, cool. So I started digging into the dude. I'm basically repeating what I said in my Walkaway video, but it's more up to date, more fresh in my mind because of this conversation I had earlier. So when these things started coming out about him, and I'm like, okay, looking into it now, digging in, most of it's hearsay, this, that, and the other. Then when the grab by the pussy part came out, I was like, yo, I've had conversations like this, and I'm not a bad person. This is just what guys do when they're amongst each other. He got caught doing it. Okay. Is that evidence for actual, all that stuff, right? All that I'm thinking, son. And I'm like, hey, he could be. I mean, the dude's rich. He could get away with anything. It could be true, but I haven't seen the evidence, right? That's all I'm saying. And yeah, I did not vote for the dude, son. People treat me like a dude. That's why I find it funny. But I didn't vote for him, yo. The way I saw it is like, okay, well, if he ain't Hillary, I'm good, right? And I'm like, okay, will I be good though? Because I know I don't want her winning or anybody on the left. Knowing what the left is about, this is why I'm independent. This is why, especially after the betrayal of Obama when I voted for him, I was like, I'm done with the left. Doesn't mean I've gone switch sides. I didn't have a side. I was always independent, but I always saw the left as, okay, they're the good guys. They're the hip ones. The right are the old hippies, religious, blah, blah, blah. That was me. Understand? There was no two bad guys, two good guys, one bad. No, nah, man. It was just, that's how it was. But I learned about the left before Trump even showed his face in the political arena. So I knew I am not doing that again. So if it's going to be somebody on the left, I'll just, okay, you better do something say something or do something completely different from your predecessors, yo. Because straight up, this is the party of the KKK and all that stuff. You make the change in this party. If not, then okay, make sure the right ain't another Bush. My thinking. So then when blacks started to come out and say he was racist now, I'm like, whoa, okay. Understand, rich, greedy, womanizer, blah, 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 potential potential rapists, because I don't know if those things are true yet. But the left has done worse to us blacks. They've done worse, and they're still doing it. They're still doing it because where are we all dying right now, getting killed off? Who's running those cities? Do I want more of that? Isn't that the definition of insanity, to repeat the same thing over and over again and expect a different outcome? I'm basically a hypocrite saying that about the left when I said if a guy from the left a girl from the left decided to run, if their thing was maybe, So with all of that, right, we understand. Well, I understood that, the rights I already had the mindset that evil knows no color, evil itself doesn't discriminate. It's when you are evil, you discriminate. You could be anything in evil. That's how I know it. That's how I've experienced it. That's what I was taught growing up. So, when blacks now, my people, are after Trump based on those accusations, I understand. But when they choose the left over Trump, that's when you lose me. And this brings me back to why that conversation triggered this in my head, because that was the thinking when I started. I said, you know what? Personally, I don't see any proof or anything against Trump, right? So if I still didn't vote for him, still didn't want to vote for him, but I said, if anybody's winning, please be him. That was always my mindset, right? With that, knowing that there's a guarantee, though, based on history to this point, to 2016 now, I'm saying, the Democrats have been doing the same thing over and over and over again. The only thing that's changed is in the beginning was blatant. It was more physical. You got whipped, chained, all that stuff. Burning cross in front of your house. Jim Crow, all that stuff. It's more about the physical. Then they moved on to the mental and started controlling us. I was seeing this stuff before Kanye even mentioned it. That's why I agreed with him, although I still think he's completely insane and still on the evil side as an agent. But he ain't wrong, though. Sometimes they got to sprinkle a little truth in order to pull you in. Then when they pull you in, the lie is invisible because you done saw the truth. They can't be lying now. You understand that? So it's strange to me that all these blacks cannot hate the left as much as Trump. This is where I am now. If you don't go scorched earth on both parties as hard as you do on Trump, I can't take you seriously. If you're okay with Trump, and it's for the reason, not because you're of that party, but because you see what he's doing, you agree with whatever he's doing and things. That's basically where I am now. Because if based on what he's been doing, has he done anything directly to hurt my people? No. As a matter of fact, I've seen, it's a fact that he's gotten rewards for this. Before the presidency, he's giving money to black colleges and inner cities and all these things. So I'm seeing this going down. He's actually helping us. Let's say it is a lie. Those things are active, right? So at least if a Trump supporter is wrong, we can't be blamed for voting for him for the right reasons, because we could be wrong but not lying. We wanted him to do the right thing, but he fooled us. I can live with that. But can you live with all the evidence of nothing? Remember, flimsy evidence against Trump, stone cold hard evidence against almost everybody on the left. Where to the point where there are court hearings now. And there's arrest after arrest after arrests. Evidence being found of laptops full of all this with the nastiness that the left are doing. The same ones that are running, or were running, I guess because it came out now, they backed out. I'm surprised, child sniffing Biden is in the top runner. I'm like, are we serious? Are blacks doing this? Are blacks doing this? This is where I'm lost with you people. So understand that if you're going to argue with me about Trump, If you hate Trump alone, I can't take you seriously. But if you hate Trump, but hate all of them as a whole, I'm down with you. Because I could be very well wrong in being okay with Trump being in office. I could be very well wrong with that. And I'll be okay with it because I can admit it and be like, well, I was trying to do good. You know, but the evidence wasn't strong at the time. There's a possibility, of course. Man's powerful. He could definitely be lying. But from what I'm seeing, I'm liking what I'm seeing now. I don't like the way he talks. I don't like how he talks down to people. But as a New Yorker, I'm used to it. So I'm like, it's to be expected. You need to learn how to control that. But whatever. But what are you doing, though? What are you doing? Everything that Democrats have promised, but reneged on, but actually doing it? Why would I be mad? That's where my mind is. But to let the left slide, though, to let the left slide on shit harsher than what you're blaming Trump for, I can't do it. You understand? So this is basically a public service announcement. Don't argue with me. If you like the left and hate Trump, don't talk to me. Don't mention shit. But if you are okay with Trump and hate the left, we can have a conversation and be like, yo, what's wrong with them? Blah, blah, blah. What do you think he's doing right? But what do you think he's doing wrong? Where can he be improved? We can have a proper discussion, right? And if you hate all of them all around, I'm like, okay, I'm down with you there too. I might disagree with what you don't like about Trump, but straight up and down, yo, you're true blue. You're about justice because you're not taking chances on any of these motherfuckers running shit. So I'm down with you too. So guess what? We can talk. You understand? But if you're going to stick with just hating Trump hard body and letting the left slide, we're done. You're lost. You're done. I hope you understand that. Because this doesn't make sense at all. You are the same people, like I said in my other post, that will, bend the knee to fucking Malcolm X, yet be for the Democrats. He saw it, got assassinated for it. He didn't get assassinated until he started talking to Martin Luther King about this shit, and they became friends, and he started to see things his MLK's way. MLK started to see things his way. They both were down because they realized the deception of the left. And it's been happening for years, before then and to this day. Nobody's wondering why everybody who's prominent gets suicided when they criticize or point fingers to the left. Yet they could go hard body on Trump with less evidence, man, and be left alone. Nobody's dying when they criticize Trump of shit. You want to know why? Because the evidence always gets debunked, or it's always hearsay. It's never strong enough. We got to be evidence-based on this. I'm going evidence-based, but I'm also putting aside like, yo, it is possible this guy could be lying. It is possible that it could all be theater. And the reason why I'm considering that is because of gematria, because there's a whole bunch of things with the numbers in Trump that make you think he could be lying. This could definitely be an act. But the other thing I'm thinking is, if he is lying, why are people going crazy? Why are people dying that either are on his side or not on his side, but also calling out what's going on the left side? Why are they dying? Why are they getting assassinated? Suicided. Yeah, you want, and black people are the worst because a lot of us knew this, but because a celebrity all of a sudden changed his mind on Trump and changed his mind on Hillary, although Hillary's got all the evidence, all of us are getting locked up easier than anyone else due to her and her husband, right? She started the whole birther shit before Trump jumped on it. All is forgiven. When people start making that make sense, maybe I'll talk to you. Maybe I'll consider arguing. But it's not worth my time and energy. especially amongst black people, when you're gonna treat you're gonna treat the left as saints. This is why I can easily listen to let's say a Hebrew Israelite or something like that, because they don't trust any of them. That's why I could be like, okay, I see the Hebrew Israelites like I see libertarians. Like they're right, but they're insane. You know, you got to be careful, because they're the first ones to cross the line and get you locked up too. But they're damn right, you know? So I can listen to them. So I can easily be down with a Hebrew Israelite, because first of all, it is true that the Bible is our history, all that stuff. I believe that. But the hatred towards other races and stuff like that, I can't be down with that. I'm like, nah, that wasn't a choice to be born. They weren't born hating anybody. It was their parents, this, that, and the other, conditioning. But outside of that, but when they're right, they're right. So when these people talk to me or bring evidence against even Trump, I'm like, I ain't mad at you, son. I ain't mad at you. You know? But at the same time, the evidence you're bringing out against him, I'm like, it's flimsy at best, though compared. I can't. Because I don't want to be wrong and strong. I don't want to be the guy that turns around and be like, oh shit, Trump was fucking lying. And I'm there like championing the same way I'm doing to the left now and doing that to him now, then I turn out I was wrong. And I'm like, because there was less evidence, but I know for damn sure, based on me being out here in fucking Hollywood, right? He calls out Hollywood. I'm in Hollywood. And I see the shit they do. I see the shit the left does. I've experienced the shit the left does. I've spoken to people who experienced the shit the left has done, to the point that they don't even want to be entertainers anymore. They crush their fucking dream because they know what's going on. They know the dark shit going on. Guess what, though? If you're guilty and you were part of it, why call it out and bring that attention on yourself when the whole everybody that's popular is accusing you of the same thing? That's what makes me think, you know, I got to slow down here. Let's not jump to the conclusion on Trump, because evidence ain't coming out, like, and it ain't solid. But everything else, based on history, based on the assassinations of our black leaders, based on fucking Black Wall Street, you know, Harlem Renaissance, all that shit, Civil War, all that shit was all the left's part. The masks, gun control. Our freedoms are getting lost. And guess what side those politicians are on? You know, the smart thing to do about these masks are to leave people to not wear them if they don't want to. You don't tell them, you can't infringe on their freedom by forcing them to wear a mask outside. Well, here is where I am with that. You're not allowed to do that. You can't stop people or tell people not to wear a mask. But if their lack of wearing a mask causes the death of somebody because they weren't cautious enough to consider there's a child there, there's a grandmother there, there's a grandfather there, there's somebody who's has compromised respiratory system there, you see it and you choose not to wear a mask, you're a fucking asshole. You should be, let the law handle you to its fullest extent. But to go, what's the name of that movie, Tom Cruise? To go, pre-crime and shit, pre-cog and shit, and go after people for not wearing a mask outside, if they're not going into an establishment where there's chances of somebody catching it. You know what I'm saying? That's true freedom. The Democrats are taking that away from us. We had that freedom not too long. I grew up with that freedom. And as an adult, I can't experience it to its fullest because the Democrats are running shit into the ground, and they're, it's not even about money because they're already rich. It's about power and fucking rituals and shit. That's what they're left with. I'm rambling on too long. I hope you got the point here, yo. Just I'm not taking you seriously, yo. If you don't hate all of them, if you're black and don't hate all of them, don't talk to me. That's all I got, y'all. Insane.